Afternoon, everybody. How are we all doing? Afternoon, Brian, James, John, Crom. How are we all doing? May the 4th be with you. I forgot about Stretchy Darth. Could have used him this morning. Stretchy Darth. It is May the 4th, so it is Star Wars Day. Afternoon, David, Alex, Michael. How are you doing? Right. So we've had the Euro rates came out as expected. Yeah, all good there. Nothing particularly exciting to announce, is there? It was as expected. Afternoon, Baggy. So, yeah, with 3.75 was our forecast. And that's what we got. The monetary policy statement and the press conference didn't really give any indication as to slowing down rates or anything. So business as usual for the euro should be continuous sort of bullish movement forwards. Unemployment claims came out as expected on the US dollar as well. So that's not a negative, which is positive, which means that tomorrow's unemployment rate will quite possibly be a drop, which will be bullish US dollar. Whether it'll make much impact or not, don't know. But so if we look at the feed, basically from Lagarde, government should roll back energy support measures. Everybody agreed that raising rates was needed, not pausing. So unanimous rate increase. Very clear that the ECB is not pausing. Some believe that 50 basis points instead of 25 was on the cards, and they'll be advocated for unchanged rates. So all business as usual for the ECB. So 3.75 achieved. There was a little bit of call for a 4, which is what we expected, or what we thought might happen as the other option, which we didn't get. But that does mean that it looks like we've got more increases coming. So that's not the end for ECB. So if you look at that on the key fundamentals now, we're up to 3.75 with a 0.25 increase. So the rates are creeping up, and the inflation is stagnant at the moment. So definitely got more room for movement there. Unemployment is coming down, but it is the highest in the V8. So there's more room for movement there, I think, with the euro. If you look at the bias scorecard now, these were all 6s, 3s, 1s, etc. So a little bit more bullishness euro side, mainly due to interest rate change. So that has affected those a little bit. So basically now, little bit more bullish euro. So if we have a look at the euro pairs, just watch the Dow. Got 4 minutes until the market opens. So if you look at the euro pairs, we got a little bit of a drop on the announcement. Nothing particularly dramatic. So we hit ADR on euro CAD. Euro Swiss, just a little bit of a whipsaw. Euro pound dropped a bit, touched onto ADR. Euro yen, little bit. Euro New Zealand, 175, but that was already coming down. So bit of a whipsaw, but no real dramatic movement, no 200 ADRs or anything, which we wouldn't expect because it's obviously an as expected release. So as expected releases tend to be bullish for the currency because the market will have factored in the rate, 3.75. So they've been factoring 3.75 in as an increase. There's no signs of it letting up. So you would expect the euro to continue to push because we are still looking at maybe 4 to 4.25 over the next couple of months. So doesn't mean obviously the euro won't come down. It could well just come down, sit back down into the bottom of this range and then push up later. So, but not negative euro anyway. Nothing massively positive either. Brian, got clarification from Fiedelcrest regarding the what news can be traded. Posted eco calendar screenshot on Telegram. Definitely something you need to be aware of. Yeah. So yeah, I kind of knew that. It's just the wording of it is ridiculous, isn't it? They can't. No one else calls it what they call it. Call it what it is. Call it unemployment claims. They'll probably call it the amount of people that haven't got jobs in the US monetary report. It's not. It's unemployment claims. Their wording is just terrible, isn't it? Fetal credit. Useless. Right. Jarmond, afternoon. Sean, hello. Outro, pre-market 5. Let's go. Okay. So I have got a short on the NASDAQ already, which is sitting in $500 of profit at the moment. I got in at 13,092. 13,092, somewhere around there I got in. So basically, retest of that propulsion gap, shorted it. So don't know what's going to happen with the indices this afternoon, but I've already got a short on. There's downside targets on the NASDAQ. There's downside targets on the Dow. The DAX has got a gap fill to do to the downside. So it's all downside as far as I'm concerned. However, if you look at the sides of these propulsion gaps left in place by Tuesday's price action, there is an argument for a rally on the Dow, but not on the NASDAQ so much. The NASDAQ's already completed it. So we had this big whipsaw, obviously, yesterday with the news. With the Dow, we had a kind of whipsaw to the downside. The NASDAQ went both ways. So they're out of sync. They always are at the moment. But difficult to tell where we're going to go. So pre-market 5, if you're trading it with outro, is here. Got 25 seconds left. So a quick whip up into there might be a nice play, or a test of the lows basically down there, but we'll see where we go. Let's watch the NAS as well. See what happens. Afternoon, Andres. Mods and movies. So there's your pre-market 15, which is what I've got my EA set to, but the 5 is there. 5 is a bit crazy, but massive risk reward when it goes. Might have been gathered in along there. That's difficult. That's a double top. Now you're in long. Interesting. Bit of a jittery open today. Not really interested in going anywhere, is it? NASDAQ's broken to the downside. Now stuck. Just watch out for a sec. Mods and movies. Got live Fetal Crest account. Was told I should try to stay within lot limit range, but won't lose account if I don't. Okay, that's interesting to know. Also, can go below limits once in profit or struggling with drawdown. It's a bit of a woolly rule, that, isn't it? The lot limits one. Can't quite get my head around that, but I guess wait until you get funded and then see what they say. That's all you can do. What's my thoughts on pound US dollar? I'll have a look at that in a sec. Might have triggered long on the Dow 15-minute pre if you're taking it. NASDAQ's retesting the low before the open. No real directional bias at the minute. Probably would have triggered you long there. Very, very different view. So NASDAQ, nice short, broken out that low. Dow's really struggling to make any headway at all on that long. Getting hammered down. Looks like that's going to break short as well. Pound US dollar. So at the moment, all we are is stuck sideways. We're up at this monthly high, which we rejected yesterday. nice M pattern on there after that reversal. So there's your retest of the initial reversal alert on the hourly. Targets to the downside. Got further targets down here as well, which aren't finished. But we need to wait and see what happens with the US dollar. Really, still no indications as to whether we are bullish or bearish on the US at the minute. We'll wait and see what happens with the unemployment rate tomorrow. When they get the unemployment figures, obviously that's one of the key fundamental leading indicators, unemployment. So if that comes out tomorrow as a negative again, I think we'll get a decent move on the US dollar bullish. But if it comes out, it's difficult to tell because we're so terminal rate now on this interest rate here. It doesn't really matter what this does. If this was to go up, it's not going to take the pressure off of this because there isn't actually pressure to increase it. If it's come down by like 0.2 or something, it's only going to release pressure on increasing interest rates, which they're not going to do anyway. They've said they're going to look at pausing now. So this figure really doesn't impact what they do with this. So I'm not sure we'll get much of a bullish or bearish move off of it tomorrow, but we'll have to wait and see. So it's difficult to call the pound US dollar at the minute. But from a rate view, the pound will probably rally next week when the interest rates go up again, because we've got the interest rates on the pound next Thursday. So the market is stagnating at the minute, but we're probably going to get a rally off the back of that next week. So if we do get a bearish move on the US tomorrow, the pound is obviously fairly strong at the moment against the US. So I can't see this going anywhere but up. There's no reason to be in short at the moment. Not in short. Haven't had a short on this since for ages. So last short on this was back there. Had a little long there. That's it. Haven't traded it since mid-April. Just been nothing, no setups at all. So sideways. Okay, there's your 5-minute opening range on the Dow. Not going anywhere today. Right, so we have got news this afternoon. We've got the Ivy PMIs, but Ivy doesn't do a lot. So, sorry, that's for the CAD. That's for the CAD anyway. So, yeah, we got no news on the US dollar. I'm not quite sure why we're hanging around on the US at the minute. It's just no volume today. It's not interested, is it? There's that propulsion gap filled there. Just no liquidity at all. It's just not moving. So be a bit wary of that this afternoon. If it does break, it could go, but I mean, there's literally no volume at the minute, so we can't actually make any progress anywhere. Euro odd opportunity, like the US dollar Swiss. Euro odd, you had a 5-minute reverse alert already on that one. That's not really anywhere. Nothing I'd be interested in on that at the moment. Is there any shortcut key to zoom in and out on MT4? Minus and plus. If you hit minus and plus on your keyboard, zooms in and out. Can't see my keyboard, can you? Look. Plus, minus. You can make your own anyway. Basically everything's fair game, even if it's yellow or orange on Forex Factory. Yeah, so news, just steer clear with Feudal Crest. Gold is treating me well from 2039. Well done. All the way out there. It's up at 2036 though. Got triggered and stopped long. Now short. 1 hour short. So break even overall. Trading the Dow. Are you trading the NASDAQ or the Dow? NASDAQ had a nice nice break off that 5 minute. That would have been a nice profit, but you stopped out on the long, obviously. So, okay, we've gone short on the Dow now. So 5 minute opening range break is in play. So let's look at where the Dow is potentially headed this afternoon if we're going to the downside. Not a lot of room at all. So your downside break is the monthly low. This is the Globex low that we're coming up to now. That's your Globex low. Is it? Doesn't seem right. Yeah, it is. Yeah, so that's your Globex low basically here. So if we break that low, you're really only going to go to that monthly low, which is another, there's just no room at all. So assuming that we're going to break that low today, it really is look out below. Watching my NASDAQ trade as well. So once that low's gone, that is your next potential area of support. So this is the previous resistance area here. So let's draw that on. Oh, right, is it? Yellow. Grey. I do. So yeah, so that's basically where we're headed. Loads of room, 200 ADR move to the downside. So once we break this support, if we are going to break and hold, which it looks like it's trying to do, hopefully the NASDAQ goes with it. Yeah, massive drop. So loads and loads of room to the downside. We've got this little accumulation here, which could also act as a support, which is somewhere around about 125 to 150 ADR. So somewhere down there potentially. So you got a good ADR basically, haven't you? 300 odd points. So loads and loads of room to the downside on that. NASDAQ. So there we go. We're testing it now. NASDAQ's struggling at those lows at the moment. It will get dragged along. If the Dow collapses, this will go. So NASDAQ, we've got ADR, we've got support potentially here before we get to ADR. Obviously, propulsion gap fills. Yeah, and that Dow's gone. Look at that for an ORB. Ooh, beauty. Right. Sorry, I was just looking at another trade I got. Okay, so let's look at the ADRs today while we're waiting for the Dow. See if it breaks that low. So ADRs today, there's quite a few. Aussie dollar Swiss, start off with the Aussie dollars. So Aussie dollar Swiss pushed up, ADR, nice bounce, and kind of just sitting there at the moment. So your 5 minute reversal alert on this one. And the updates. Got to do this MT4. I just can't find the time to muck about reinstalling MT4. Data on this one is shot. Hello, Aussie dollar Swiss. There you go. There's a 1 minute chart. For some, it's only the 5 minute charts. For some reason, it's just 5 minute charts and not updating properly on this MT4. It's something very really wrong with it. I don't know what it is. I need to start again with a new NT4, but so there's your reversal alert on the 1 minute, 5 minutes somewhere in there as well, and that's ADR. So there's your reversal there. Aussie dollar Swiss potentially short. Aussie dollar New Zealand dollar. Weekly range just hit on the euro yen. Aussie dollar New Zealand dollar. Can't use these charts. It's the 5 minute chart. I don't know what it is. It's something to do with the 5 minute chart. Just not, it won't paint in the 5 minute chart. I don't know what it is. There we go. It takes forever to update the data. So there you are, ADR, Aussie New Zealand. And then it doesn't update indicators properly. So your reversal alert is going to be there. We basically slammed down, then put in an inside bar, railroad tracks, basically straight back up. So wait for the reversal alert. Long opportunity on Aussie New Zealand. I'm just taking that one myself, actually, on the other account, on the Feudal Crest evaluation. So I like the look of this Aussie New Zealand. We're approaching a good level down here. So we've got this old weekly and this monthly. So there's lots and lots and lots of unfinished targets at the upside here. So what I'm looking for is potentially a new higher low to be put in and then come up and challenge those levels there. So I like these levels. We've got this little propulsion gap to the downside, which is 125 ADR. So if we get down below that, I might take a second because I took a first entry as we broke this low. So basically looking for a bounce somewhere around that weekly low or the monthly low. So that looks good for a long. CAD Swiss also extended. So that's come off of ADR. M5 if it updates. So there we go. So this one basically pushed up. ADR, you've just had a reversal alert. Lots of downside targets on that one. Continuation to the downside. We've got obviously CAD news this afternoon as well. We've got the IV PMIs and we've got Macklem speaking. So there's lots of upside targets on this one as well, though. So this might be where we basically just are going to push back up. But there's no other news coming out apart from tomorrow afternoon. So we might just sit around on this one. Just bear in mind tomorrow we've got the Swiss franc CPI. That's going to move the Swissy tomorrow. We've got unemployment for the CAD and the US coming out obviously at the same time at 1:30. So we've got lots of news catalysts on this one tomorrow. Euro odd, that was an ADR hit to the upside, which has already played out. No, it wasn't. Sorry, that's an ADR hit to the downside. That wasn't an ADR hit to the up. That was to the down. So there's your reversal alert. That's a big long one, that. So potential push back up into those areas. This euro, I think, is going to power up. I don't think this is going to be a weak euro. It shouldn't be off the back of this news. So euro CAD, ADR hit to the downside. Reversal on that one is just triggered as well. So that looks very much the same as the euro odd. Euro pound or euro CAD. Yeah. Euro pound, same thing. It's going to take ages to update. Let's get rid of this platform, aren't I? Euro pounds hit ADR, M15. I'll look at M15, but you've had your 5 minute reversal alert in there already as well. And Euro New Zealand. So this is the big one. New Zealand dollar. Really, really decent moves today on the New Zealand. So we had big, strong push New Zealand today. Really, really powerful moves. So obviously the Euro New Zealand, with the euro dropping sort of half an ADR on the news, it was already at ADR. So that's driven it right down into the 175 area. Still looks like it's going at the moment. We've just had a nice big push up on all the euro pairs. So nice 3-bar reversal gone in there. So see if that holds basically. If it does give me an M5 chart. No. Get on here. Yeah, you've had the reversal alert off of 175 straight out of a propulsion gap down here. So that looks pretty good. There you go. That's what it actually looks like. Euro New Zealand. Loads of upside targets. This New Zealand's been pushing hard all day. So there's no reason why it shouldn't. There we go. Why we shouldn't get. Actually, there's no reversal alert on this. It's interesting. Got a reversal alert on Fetal Crest. Haven't got a reversal alert here because the price action on Fetal Crest is actually completely different down here. The tails are in completely different places. So that's where the reversal alert is on the Fetal Crest account, not on this one. But yeah, 175 ADR, huge extension. We're getting down to extension area on the hourly as well. Not quite yet, but very, very big drop. Very big targets to the upside left here. They will probably get orphaned maybe. However, if we get continuation strength on the euro off the back of those rates, I think the market needs a little bit of time to digest this euro because there was a lot of talk about that fall, and I think they factored a lot of that in, which is why we saw the weakness. I said this morning, didn't I? There's a chance of weakness in the euro if we get the expected rate because I think they factored a little bit more than that in, but it'll come round and it'll push up. There's still more rate increases to come. So good looking mean reversion opportunity on that one. And euro US dollar, that one's slammed down very, very hard, as you can see. Same price action. We've just undone 50% of that move on virtually all of these euros. So could be looking just to come straight back up and undo all of this. Pound, you've had a few on the pound as well. Pound Swiss. So that's already come off of ADR. That was your entry there. Not really going anywhere at the moment. Pound New Zealand as well. So that's an ADR hit to the downside. Look at the tails on that. So we got down to here. Nice price action. And then we just literally got into a horrible mess down here. That looks like a really bullish move going on there. M15. Very clear. Reversal alert. So that one's a good opportunity for longs, targets to the upside, big propulsion gap targets. All these New Zealand dollar pairs got big targets to the upside. Aussie New Zealand is also extended. That's ADR. Yeah, we looked at that one, haven't we? So this big gap here, there's another little bit above it, but coming up there at some point. So just a case of whether or not we're just going to dump and then push up there. New Zealand's, all the New Zealand's have left those propulsion gaps to the downside. Scaled out of one entry on this one. So that was the initial entry on it on the hourly RSI extension. Pushed up, second entry's gone in. You can't see that, but there's a second entry gone in there. So that's the second entry, first entry. So looking for that just to push back down into this propulsion here, into this last weekly support. M5 reversal alert there. So there's the entry. The entry's taken there. But good looking short opportunity. Already played out there on the New Zealand dollar CAD. New Zealand dollar Swiss. Same thing. Reversal alert's just going on that one. All the propulsion gaps on M5 just filled. Look. That's the last propulsion gap on M5 filled. Looking to come back down and do all this lot. If you look at it on the hourly, you've got this big propulsion move there. There is more upside targets on this one. So this monthly low, you got a little bit of accumulation just after that as well. So there is a possibility for pushing back up there, which is going to be another 1 or 2 ADR to the upside on that one. So, but it is extended to the upside. We've got the yesterday's high and the previous day's high, which is up at around 175 ADR. So there's an opportunity to get in on this now, basically, at the 150 ADR mark, but you may need a little bit more because there is more resistance up here. You've got an old weekly level, you've got yesterday's high and the previous day's high, all in that zone between 175 and 200 ADR. If it gets up to there, we're going to find limits triggering, so that looks a good spot to take that New Zealand dollar Swiss. And we've got New Zealand dollar yen and New Zealand dollar US dollar as well. That one's already played out. That's coming down hard. Is that the yen? Yeah, loads of strength coming into the yen all of a sudden. Last 10 minutes, the yen's gone a little bit crazy. New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Again, same thing on this one. Not updating, but you can see we're 125 ADR. Your reversal alert was in there on M5. So push back down into there. I'm going to do a fresh MT4 install this afternoon when I get off, because this thing's driving me up the wall. US dollar Swiss extended to the upside. So big strong push up. That was the buy that I got out of this morning. We're pushing back up into all these propulsion gaps. Got loads of propulsion gaps above us. So we've also now left these ones down below. So Swiss franc, if we get that euro strength coming through, which we haven't got at the moment, obviously, that's going to push back down. With the euro is going to, the Swiss is going to push down with the euro. But with the US dollar, obviously, if we get decent unemployment figures tomorrow, we're going to get a rally off of the US dollar. But you can see basically this is has been downtrodden for a while now, this US dollar Swiss. So probably continuation shorts. VC, did you cover CAD Swiss? Did I cover? Yeah, CAD Swiss. It's an ADR. So it's an ADR hit to the upside, basically because the Swiss franc has weakened with the euro. There's loads of upside on this. So it is an ADR reversal, and obviously ADR reversals are scalps. So you only be looking for sort of a third of an ADR move, something like that, half an ADR. And that move back down into there maybe. But it has got more movement to the upside as well. But hourly, you're coming out of an RSI extension to the downside, look. So there's a long here. I'm long on it already from yesterday on that RSI extension. So looking for a move somewhere up into there. But obviously you can scalp it short on the way. Totally up to you. Either or both. Right. Dow is pulling back into propulsion. So we've gone through. I'm not going to cover the weeklies. We covered all those this morning, but it's Thursday. Everything that's weekly, you can go and have a look at it. And obviously there's opportunities there, but most of those are extended on the RSI on the hourly, and I've already played out. So, so the Dow, we have just broken that monthly low. As you can see. So very nice, big, strong move to the downside. And as I said, this is kind of where I'd be looking for. So watch for a pullback. What we don't want to do is pull back and close above here. And then there's a potential basically for this to be a liquidity run on this low here. And then we're going to push back up into here. So what you want to watch for here is that kind of movement. What would be better would be a very quick pullback into there and then some kind of reversal pattern in there. And then take a second leg short from here. This area here. Basically in this propulsion gap. So we'll see. But it's looking pretty bearish at the moment. The buyers are not able to get any traction at all on that. The NASDAQ, very similar to the Dow, putting back at the moment. So just watching, see what happens. That level there. Pound yen, Doriji. Sorry, I missed you. Pound yen. Not really going anywhere or doing anything at the minute. So all we got here is this propulsion gap. So this double top down into there. So rejecting somewhere off of there or there, which is in this propulsion gap for a long up to there. So depends what your view is on the yen. You know, a lot of people don't like trading the yen because it's a bit volatile, but I like to short it because they intervene a lot. But however, I think the pound is going to be a long next week. So I would be more inclined to start looking for longs. But I'm not going to get in unless we get extended. So there's potential for a bounce out of here. There's potential for a bounce out of there. So an ADR today would be a lovely long opportunity. CAD IV PMI at 3 o'clock. Yeah, it won't do a lot. We'll watch the CAD. We'll watch the US dollar CAD. See what that does. Right. Then 550 Bank of Canada Mac Club. Yep. Already gone through the news. You've missed it. So yeah, afternoon news. Paramount Global shares fall 23% after revenue earnings miss. Wow. Paramount. Oh, poor old Star Trek. 23%. That's a big drop. Right. We'll have a look at the RSIs. Let's just watch that CAD. We've got 45 seconds to go. As you can see, there's not a lot of RSIs. All the RSIs that we've been trading have all played out. They're all sitting in the bank. So sitting in 1.7% DD at the moment. 8.6 banked this week. So basically everything that we've had RSI extension wise on the hourlies and the 4 hourlies pretty much all played out. Pound CAD's still in at the moment, but getting out of that hopefully. Actually, let's watch the pound CAD because we've got CAD news coming up and I've got a CAD short on. So let's watch that because that's much more fun. So nice M pattern there. Oh, look at that. Just missed the reversal alert there. So there's your M pattern formation. Looking for a breakdown into propulsion down into here. Euro yen. So we've got some more RSIs to look at in a second. Let's just watch this on M5. Just see if we get a reaction off the PMIs. Somebody just asked in the Telegram group, how unstable is the price of Ethereum during this period? What's going on? So I've just replied, no idea. We don't trade that crap in here because it's unstable. Crypto. Well, people learn. Right. Slightly bullish move on the CAD. Nothing particularly exciting. So those PMIs, 56.8 off of a 58.2 previous. So ever such a slight reduction, but nothing exciting. You might get some movement off of the Macklem speech at 550. However, there's not really a lot to talk about with the CAD at the moment, I don't think, until we get the unemployment rates out. So there may be some preemptive talk in there about what's going to happen to interest rates if we get that or that on unemployment. So we might be, the market might be able to read a little bit into that as to mentioning what's potentially going to happen there. But there's no other CAD news really that we've had this week that's really commenting on. So I don't think we'll get an awful lot of movement. Looking into next week, we've got inflation for the US next week, and obviously the pound GDP and rates, and then we've got PPI figures. So there's no CAD news coming up next week either. So I wouldn't hold your breath on anything particularly exciting coming up this afternoon at 5:50. So that's pretty much it for the news today. Those PMIs, no reaction on the CAD. Right. Okay, so Dow's trying to stabilize down there at the moment. So let's look at the RSIs. So all we've got really is 3 RSIs to look at here. Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar. So this is one of the reasons I've taken an Aussie New Zealand on the Feudal Crest account, because we've got this RSI extension started. Now, we got down to here yesterday, and after this big drop, and all we've done is accumulated, and the New Zealand dollar's powered up today, which has pushed us back down into ADR. So there's an entry there for a very nice move back up into that propulsion. So if we are going to go short on Aussie New Zealand, yeah, and continue this move down, which is what I was looking for, do you remember? So I said we'd be looking for this to be a pullback and a continuation short. This leg here is the pullback continuation short on that. So I think overall we're probably going to come back down and retest this low back down here at some point, which is a really old monthly from December. So shorter term, high, low, lower high, lower low, looking for a lower high up into here. These will probably get orphaned. So this is what I'm targeting as next leg pullback to continue short. I like the fact that we just accumulated down there and kind of flagged and broke, because it means they haven't done a profit take on that move yet, which means that that entire move there is due a profit take. 50% of that brings you all the way back up to there. So loads of room to the upside on this. It isn't stopping yet, but when you go back and look at where we're headed to, you've only got another half an ADR pretty much down to monthly support. So we've got propulsion gap and monthly support as confluence down there for a bounce. So we've pushed, not profit take, pushed. We get down to there, we're going to be extended on RSI, no profit take on that move, so we were looking for a pullback on it. Very much the same as that move there. So same move, so got long on Aussie New Zealand. So that's RSI extension below 30 and an ADR hit today. It's not massively extended. So you can see the EA hasn't actually taken a trade on this long because we're not extended down there yet. I think it's probably taken an, have we had a reversal on it yet? Don't think we have. I'm not sure. We're probably not even on that on the ADR either. Yeah, Aussie New Zealand's not triggered on an ADR reversal yet either. 1.84 bank today, very nice. 64 bank there. 0.35 banked on that. 1.84 banked on the hedging set file. Look at that hedging set file now. Look, 7.8 drawdown. 7.41 banked this week. Really nice. We were up to 20% DD on it, but now down to 7.8, all manageable. This Swiss yen, look. We got 11 positions on that, 0.18. So this is hedged still at the moment. We've got a long on, but the vast majority of these positions are short. So it's been building this short position. So it doesn't need much more before it's going to get out of all of that Swiss yen short and dump that lot all over there as well. So we're looking at another probably 2% on top of that today if we get a continuation push down on that. So it's doing very nice. But yeah, no ADR on the Aussie dollar yen at all as yet. Sorry, Aussie dollar yen, Aussie dollar New Zealand dollar. So that's going to be your first reversal alert today. Looking for a move back up. So that's extended. We've got the euro yen, which is also extended on the hourly. Beautiful propulsion gap fill on this one. So this previous high here, this is an old weekly level, which we basically pushed into, came out of, tried a price discovery, failed, came back down into support, tried again and again and again, finally broke it. So this is where the bulls started their move. This is where the bulls are likely to add to that move. Assuming that we don't get a load of strength coming through on the yen for any reason, i.e. a bank falling over, which we have, and that the market actually does like the euro 3.75 increase. It doesn't seem to have absorbed it at the moment. It's not really paying much attention to the euro. It's not doing a lot. It is coming down across the board, the euro. So they are unraveling. As I said, I think they priced in a little bit more than 3.75. So I think this is probably just a little bit of an unraveling, but should be bullish moving forward. So euro yen, nice propulsion gap target there that we're coming into. So yeah, looks good for longs. You've got previous weekly levels here at 175 ADR and another propulsion gap which has already been tested. So if this doesn't hold, that's going to be another entry. Not great targets to the upside. It's very efficiently traded. So once this is filled to the downside though, you know, we're extended. We're about to get an alert on this. I'm about to get long on this. The EA will be taking the next 5-minute reversal alert on this one anyway. So we're extended on the hourly, ready to go. So euro yen looks like a good long. New Zealand CAD is the only other extension we've got on a 4-hour. So RSI extension to the upside. Already got trades on this one. So there's 2 positions on this one already. One DD control done this morning as we've come up into this propulsion gap here. Loads of targets to the downside, old ones as well, which have been tested multiple times. That one there, which just accumulated in basically. So yeah, looks good for shorts. Again, Canadian dollar tomorrow. We're not likely to get a lot of movement on the CAD until tomorrow because obviously we're waiting for the unemployment figures for that and the US tomorrow. So M5 reversal alert triggered up here. Trade's working very nicely. My average is probably going to act as support, I would say, on the way back down. So if you look at where my my break-even line is, it's basically at support. So that may hold and it may bounce, but other than that, we'll be looking for it to come back down. There you go. So there's your RSIs. So it's mainly all about ADRs today, and the New Zealand dollar and the euro. Euro New Zealand's just put in a nice tail. M5. Really, really different price action on these 2 pairs, on these 2 brokers. 125 on Euro CAD. Look at the difference in the price action. Look. So if you it's probably good to put it over there. Look. So if you look at the there's your reversal alert. That candle there, and then that low. Whereas you look at the price action here, what we got was that candle. Then we made a new low. So that is a bull candle, not there. It's a bear candle. Totally different price action, gives you totally different reversal. So the reversal is going to happen here on this candle. On Fidelcrest, on Robo Forex though, we haven't triggered a reversal alert here. So that low hasn't been invalidated. So you get completely different price action. Look at this. We broke that low. We didn't break that low. So this is why you need to trade your own charts, because you are going to have different price feeds with different brokers depending on their sources. There's all sorts of things that goes into this. Your ADR is going to be slightly different. Look at ADR 125 sits there. ADR 125 sits there. So there's that much difference between the ADR levels as well because of the broker feeds. I have a propulsion gap there. There is no propulsion gap there. Different broker, different feed. You've got to be trading your own charts. Trade what you see, not anything else. That's why copy trading partly doesn't work as well, because different people are seeing different things. Afternoon, Doreska. So Dow is holding down here. We're potentially building a flag for a continuation break. I think this monthly break is it. I think we're going to go now on the Dow. Hopefully, because it will drag the NASDAQ with it. And that's what I want because I'm short. So the NASDAQ propulsion gap is holding. So that support and resistance, potentially. So looking for a run on the lows. Brian, the only thing I do with crypto is get paid to use the Brave browser, then dump my BAT tokens into Bitcoin. Got to put them somewhere, haven't you? BAT tokens. I mean, that kind of sums it up, doesn't it? Crypto is just, it's nothing. Somebody's invented something from nothing. A currency that has no value from nothing. We don't even know who invented it. Who's controlling it? There's some bloke sitting there behind a wall somewhere with control over all Bitcoin. And at any moment, I reckon he can press a button and go and pop the whole lot. Nobody knows. Nobody knows enough about it to actually understand what's driving it. So therefore, you can't trade it. It's too dangerous. Oil. Speaking of things that are dangerous. So oil... ever so slightly tried to rally today. I'm very glad I didn't take that long. It's a big scam. Yeah. I don't know. Not interested. Crypto. So oil, we didn't manage to get any traction today. It looked like it wanted to go. This thing's dead in the water at the minute. So this is what I was looking at this morning in the London session. We've completed that propulsion gap now, so there is no more downside target from a propulsion gap perspective. That is what I was looking at as potentially, right, this might be it. Let's get going. However, it's just rolling over again. So I think it wants to come and test last month's low, which is again back down to 65 when we're $65 a barrel, basically. So be careful with oil if you're trying to get in long. I don't see it at the minute. I see upside on it, but I can't get that out of my head. It looks too obvious to do a double bottom on this. Last time we looked at this, we were looking at it here, right? And here. And we were like, looks like it's going to come and do a double bottom. It did. Came back down again, pushed back up. Looks like it's going to do a double bottom. It did. And then it collapsed through it. And we thought that's going to be the double bottom. And it bounced. And then it collapsed. Yeah. It doesn't seem to have enough oomph to get going at all at the moment, this. It really is struggling. Even with that gap, with the supply, the supply capping that was put in place to drive prices up hasn't worked. The market's just not interested in oil at the moment. So could this be the end of oil? I went to Center Parks a couple of weeks ago in my car. I've got an electric car. I've got an iX3 BMW. Fully electric, yeah. So when I get somewhere and I need to charge because I've got no petrol to back up. They've got 6 charging points at Center Parks, right? There's usually around about 3,000 or 4,000 cars in the car park when you get there. I don't know how many, but a lot. There's 6 charging points for electric cars. And when I checked into the lodge at the reception, there's 8 check-in points. Out of those 8 check-in points, 5 were fully electric cars. Yeah, so they got 6 charging points, and there were 5 of us with fully electric cars, Teslas and BMWs, checking in at the same time with the other 900,000 or however many. I don't know, a lot, but you get the point. Electric, everybody is now going electric. Oil demand is going to go through the floor. It's just the way that it is. So the vast majority of oil production is done for petroleum. Petroleum is no longer required. It's coming down. So although the institutions are calling 95 plus a barrel this year, it doesn't seem to be able to get started anywhere near towards it. This is what we thought was going to be the start. It's not. So I don't really know what is going to happen with oil. So I'll be very careful with it if you're trying to get this long on. It's just not doing it, is it? Euro Swiss and Euro Yen both got ADRs, so the euro is definitely coming down. So yeah, I'd be worried about the situation with oil at the moment. Euro Yen gap fill is complete. Still got this one down here, 150 ADR. And Euro Swiss was the other ADR, wasn't it? So that's just hit ADR. This is a monthly low. So that's last month's low. We are testing now. Prior month's low is down here, purple line. So if that doesn't hold and we don't get a bounce into propulsion there, we're coming down to here. Watch this carefully, this Euro Swiss. This looks like a nice looking little long here. Look. Really tight reversal alert on this. If you want to take this as a stop loss trade, I wouldn't go that tight on it, but you know, decent stop on it, half an ADR or something. This could be it. Nice multiple support there at last month's low. That's kind of done, that one. So yeah, looking to come back up, that's kind of done as well. So this is actually, yeah, it's all done. Everything to the upside is done. That's filled near as damn it. You've literally got that much room. So this propulsion gap here is your target to the upside, 150 ADR. And that would stand with a market structure short. Look. So if the euro is going to weaken, that would be your pullback. Western Alliance. Mole's options, including a potential sale. My God, there's another one. Okay, so there's another bank going. Be very, very careful with these indices. Do not try and long these indices at the minute. So that's the second bank this week. We've had First Republic this week going into trouble. They've just lost the buyer as well. Sorry, First Horizon, not First Republic. Was that? No, hang on. So it was First Republic, wasn't it? I get my banks mixed up. Who's First Horizon? Anyway, but yeah, you get the point. What happened in 2008 with the banking crisis was we lost thingy, what they called Northern Rock. Northern Rock went, yeah, and then a week later, other bank went, and then another week later, another bank went, and then two banks went, and then another couple of banks went, and that was the crash. This is the fourth bank in as many weeks that is starting to get into trouble. As much as these guys are saying our banking structure is solid, BlackRock, okay, there's problems at banks at the moment. People like me who were clever and fixed their mortgages for 5 years when the interest rate was 0 in the UK are now sitting on a 2% mortgage where the bank is having to pay 7%. So they are losing money on me. Every time I pay my mortgage, they are losing money. They are losing money hand over fist at the moment. So there's a lot of banks I think we are going to find getting into trouble. As those banks start to get into trouble, people will do runs on the banks, i.e. remove their money from those banks because they're worried about them, and they'll move the money into other assets. Currencies being one of them. Swiss franc benefits, yen benefits. So stock markets tend to drop when we have banking crisis. So if you look at what's going on with these indices over the last couple of days, pretty clear what's happening. So be very careful trying to mean revert this. Try to get in on shorts on these, because if we do get another couple of banks announcing things, US dollar yen 125 a weekly range. That's a big yen move by the looks of things. So yes, yen, there goes. Money flowing into the yen now. Pound yen, weekly range extended, more money coming into the yen. So the safe haven runs are starting. So be careful longing the yen as well. I've got a New Zealand dollar yen short on at the moment. It's fine. Oh, Euro Swiss coming down hard. So Euro Swiss is absolutely collapsing. Again, Swiss franc. Money's going to run into the Swiss franc. Money's going to run into the yen. Money's going to run out of the stock market. So stocks down, everything down against the Swiss, everything down against the yen. Just be careful. It happens so fast. You don't get time to react. And these, if you look at the drops and how quick they tend to happen. Data going back any further on that. But they tend to be like, you know, you'll find you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days and it will wipe off a month or 2 months worth of the market. Yeah. Bang. All that gone in 3 or 4 days. That's COVID. That's not. That's the banking crisis. 2000. That's 2008 crash. 2018 crash rather. COVID was obviously a bigger one, but you'll find that this thing, you know, if it starts to unravel, this will be down here. Monday, Tuesday. You know, it takes no time at all. And obviously, you'll find that the Swissy and the yen will put in moves quite similar. So just be careful with any longs you've got on XXX yen or on XXX Swiss. If you've got any longs on those, be careful. You may be getting squeezed. We will see, though. You never know. Government monopoly with all electric charges. Cars. Thoughts on trading the indices tomorrow? Looking at the news schedule, you won't find the indices tomorrow will move. If you go back and look at previous non-farm payrolls, what you tend to find is the money is spent here. The market opens at 2:30, so the money is spent there. By the time you get to market open, the movement's done. So you tend to get a sideways move. So I wouldn't try to opening range breakouts tomorrow. It's unlikely you'll get enough movement out of it. It'll be whipsaw-y. Usually is. Euro Swiss 125 ADR. That's looking quite tasty for a long. But be prepared to do that. All electricity will be price rise. Yeah, probably. Electricity, so you can't, if they put our electricity bills up anymore in the UK, we won't be able to afford our mortgages. It's already at ridiculous rates. It's gone up 3,000% in the last 2 years. Walking down the street the other day, saw a very long cable snaking across the pavement to a car. Yeah, you're not allowed to do that in the UK. Connecting handle protruding around 12 inches from the car. Yeah, this is the problem. So what the plans are for the UK anyway, I don't know about the rest of the world, but the plans for the UK are that we're going to put charging points in lampposts, because all the lampposts in the UK obviously have got electricity running into them. So what they're doing is they're retrofitting chargers onto lampposts. There's trials going on all over the place at the moment. But the infrastructure is going to be rolled out. But for these people that have got terraced houses with no driveways, you can't have a charging point put in. So you then have to rely on either car parking chargers at work or wherever you're going into town, which is fine, or you've got to have on-street charging. And that is all being rolled out. So it's happening, but it's not happening fast enough. Center Parks, which was what I was saying about the earlier, they've got 6 charging points at the moment. 2 weeks after we went, they put in 100 charging points. So they've now got 106. So that means that all the cars basically that are electric there probably would have had a spot with a charger in. But the chargers are the 3 kilowatt chargers, which means they take around about 10 to 12 hours to charge. So when I go and put my car on it, I have to leave it overnight to charge. And then I have to go back to the car park, move the car so that someone else can go onto it. So it's an absolute faff. So what you find is people are just parking on them, charging their car, coming back a couple of days when they can be bothered, which means that all the people that are sitting there waiting to charge so they can get home can't. It's a big problem. It's going to sort itself out, but the rate that electric cars are being sold, as opposed to charging points and petrol stations being converted to charging points, it's too slow at the moment. Which banks are going bust in the UK? I've no idea. I've got my money in Lloyd's TSB. All the banks in the UK are protected. However, banks have this uncanny knack. The 2008 crisis was because they were over-leveraged on unsecured mortgages. So they rolled out a rule that said you can't have unsecured mortgages. So the product that they were selling, which was the subprime mortgage market products, so they would bundle up all their subprime mortgages into a product which they would sell to another bank at a discount. That bank would then take on those customers and that debt. They would then go, crap, this is a load of rubbish. Let's get the ones we like out of here, the ones that are ending in 6 months, and we can roll them onto new ones, and we'll repackage the subprimes and sell them to the next bank, and so on and so forth. Some poor bugger, Northern Rock, was left with the majority of those at the end, and they went pop, and everything cascaded from there. That's all been sorted. But what they do now is they roll different products up. So we've got subprime loans, not mortgages, loans. So it's all about lending with banks. That's how they make their money on interest and everything. The problem is, at the moment, interest rates are through the roof, and a lot of the loans are fixed rate. I've no idea how long they can survive. They will get bailed out. Bailey will bail out any banks that go bust in the UK, if they do, but I think they're pretty safe. Most of our banking is investment. Euro New Zealand's just about to give a reversal alert. If you're interested, on M5, on my Fidelcrest account, it's about to give a reversal alert. So this is a new low, which it isn't here. It's a double bottom. So that is actually there as a reverse alert there. That's 175 ADR. So that's a nice looking potential long there on Euro New Zealand. Euro Swiss, we're now 225 ADR. Don't hold up much hope for this Euro Swiss. This Euro is not very well today. They certainly didn't like that. I think they'd gone too far on the 4%. So they're scaling out a lot of this Euro. They haven't got what they wanted. See how it holds up tomorrow. This will all mean revert at some point, but just be a little careful. Don't get over leveraged on the Euro. Yeah, it's mainly US banks that seem to be having most of the problems at the moment. Apart from Credit Suisse, you know, it's not. No one's immune. Salty caught the London from the couch. Got here late, catching up. Up 12.5% a day for the last two. You're over leveraged. You're up 12.5% in a day. You're massively over leveraged. But keep doing what you're doing. Just be aware at some point it's going to go pop. We have the FDIC, which ensures deposits up to 250,000 per account. I think we're all right in the UK. I'd be a little bit worried about the US though. There's only so much bailing in the UK. What we tend to do is we buy. The government bails out the banks by buying them. In the US, they wait for someone else to buy them, and it usually is another bank like JP Morgan. But then when they actually do the due diligence and look at the accounts, they go, nah, that's a piece of crap. I don't want it. And it all tends to go a little bit wrong. But, yeah. Salty said you were doing a fresh install. Mind doing a video on it? What, on how to install MT4? you just double click the icon. There isn't anything there's no video to do. You download it from your broker, you double click the install icon, and it installs a new MT4. And then literally just stick your indicators in and you're done. The only thing you need to do when you're switching, right, is if you go to File and Open Data folder, you'll get your data folder, which is here. Yeah. So the important folders are your templates folder. So you just copy all of that, paste it into the templates folder on the new one. Your profiles, copy all that, paste it into your MT4 folder on the new one. And your MQL4, your experts, and your indicators folder. Copy those, paste them over. And also your presets. That's it. Literally that easy. So you just install a brand new terminal, fresh, and you copy your templates, your profiles, and your MQL for indicators and experts folders. That's it. There you go. There's your video. Literally that easy. And then you just log into your accounts as normal and apply your templates and set yourself up. DAX is stuck sideways. So the Dow's coming down to 125 ADR now. Beautiful ORB today. Difficult to tell where this is going to stop today. So melty. I wouldn't try and catch this for a long. If you're not in it short, you missed it. Hopefully that makes sense what I just said about the installation. Brian, wrong in the US. Oh, sorry. You talked about the US, FDIC. Oh, sorry, FDIC. Right, insures depositors up to 250k. Yeah. We've got the same in the UK with the other one. What are they called? What's our UK one called? I've forgotten their name. Brian Yellen, will all depositors, no sweat, brr, goes the machine. Okay, Big Les, have you taken your pills today? Brian Yellen, will all depositors go sweat, brr, goes the machine. What? I've no idea what you're talking about, sorry. There's a meme about that. Right, I'm going to leave it there today. Russia's just said something. Oil exports from the Western ports to reach 4-year high. Big Les hasn't taken his pills today. He's going mad. Right, Dow's pulling off of 125. So if you got into the opening range breakout short and you're still in it, well done. Do you ever install more than one MT4 on a machine? Yeah, loads. Loads of MT4s. I have lots of MT4s. I have a folder full of them, look. So I have loads of MT4s installed. So whenever I want a new MT4, the best way to do it is literally to Control-C, Control-V. Yeah. And that basically copies your MT4. However, it copies everything, all the crap as well. All the old data. If you've got data corruption issues, etc., then this is copying all of that data corruption as well. Yeah. So that isn't really the best way to do it. Because what you end up doing is you're just replicating MT4 and making another MT4, which is just as bad as the one that you've just copied. So the best thing to do is do a completely fresh installation of MT4 from your broker. So get your broker's MT4 installation file, do a fresh installation of it, and then copy those folders over that you need, the templates, the indicators, and all that sort of stuff. Because the main one that you're going to have problems with is going to be your data that's going to be in there. So all the crap, basically, the symbols and all that sort of stuff that's in there, that's going to get copied across. So what you want to do is have a nice fresh one that you can just work with, and it'll be a lot faster. It's like, I liken it to Windows. MT4 is like Windows. After a while, it just gets clogged up with crap, and it's best just to reinstall it. Big Les, guarantees. Flat currency knows no bounds. Fiat currency knows no bounds. Okay. Cool. You're talking fiat currency, so I assume you're a crypto trader. So again, I still don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, I'm going to carry on. I'll be back tomorrow at the same time. You need to look up Billionaire Box. Would make a great gift. Billionaire Box? What's that? Can't spell. Send a cake? I am a human. That's what comes up when I search for Billionaire Box. Oh! I like it. Make it rain. Awesome. It's my son's birthday coming up. I might get him one of these. Do they do these in the UK? Like it. I'm going to leave that up there. Might purchase one of those. Send an asteroid, please. I think they've got an asteroid hitting already. The indexes are... Have I seen the movie Idiocracy? No, I haven't seen that. (2006). No. That's advert. Oh, it's a good game, Jedi Knight. No, I haven't seen that. Luke Wilson. I haven't seen him for a while. Anywho, we digress. I'm off to buy a Billionaire Box. Destruction of civilization. Yeah, it's pretty much what's going on at the moment. COVID has killed us all. It's not going to kill us with a virus. It's going to kill us with a financial collapse. And then we're all going to start killing each other because nobody will have any money. That's where it's all going to go wrong. Right, I will leave you with that nice thought. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 7:50, same time for Frankfurt. I'll be back for New York tomorrow afternoon, 2:20, same time. We'll see how we get on. No other news overnight to worry about. So another bank holiday tomorrow in Japan. We've got a policy statement from the Royal Bank of Australia tomorrow morning. Don't think that'll really do an awful lot. First news is before I come on, which is CPI for the Swiss. So just bear in mind, if you've got any Swiss franc in profit tomorrow morning, you might want to protect that because we've got some potential big moves on the Swissy as well. All right. Okay. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good afternoon. Careful of these euros. And if anything else happens, I'll put it in the Telegram group. Otherwise, I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good day.